just what it feels like. Come over and dance with me. Oh, baby. Won't you come over and dance with me? Come over and dance with me. Come over and dance with me. Oh, baby. I see you over there sitting in the corner. Eyes on me looking.
Welcome back to Conversations with Val and Sal. I'm L.A. Jackson with my co-host Lori L.J. Johnson, and we've got a special guest on tonight's segment called the Hall of Fame. And I'll tell you why it's called the Hall of Fame, because a special guest just like this. Many people know him as the keyboard player with the Isley brothers and Isley Jasper Isley. In fact, I was blessed to have marketed his music at CBS Records and Sony Music when I was back in the days. He's been making music for decades on end, let me tell you. Please welcome aboard music wizard Chris Jasper. Welcome, Chris. And man, I want to jump into where you've been, but first I want to know about this new album you've got, man. It's called Inspired. It certainly does have me inspired. Inspire us. Drop some knowledge on us. What's up?
I knew I was going to touch some spiritual messages, and I knew I was going to, have some love songs, but I also wanted to address some, things that go on from, day to day, some experiences that people run into on a daily basis. So I wanted to cover those things as well. So I just got busy, and it took me, a few months or maybe 6 months to get together. But, the songs and the ideas came to me, and just put them all together.
That is incredible, man. And it's just got that, and it's been, the industry to me has been missing that classic, that full sound. Lately it's like you can feel the electronic drums and everything. But when I started listening to your music, man, it was just that classic, good, feel good, soulsy, rhythmy, gospel-y thing, all of that wrapped up. And it just reminiscent of the good old days from the 70s and stuff like that, man. And I just tell you what, man, just big ups. And I just want to say thank you for your efforts on this album. It's a beautiful piece of work. And hopefully you'll be able to get the full mileage, out of it. But let's go back to like 1984 and that Broadway's Closer to Sunset Broadway's Closer to Sunset Avenue. And let's talk about that. How did that come about? I know that was right after you guys went through the transition from Isley Brothers to Isley Jasper Isley.
Yeah, that was right after the formation of Isley Jasper Isley, which was actually a return to the trio that the three of us younger guys started as.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We started out as a trio before we joined the older brothers.
Oh.
We had a trio called the Jasmine Trio.
Okay.
And we played, predominantly jazz, but we also played some popular songs too.
Wow.
We started out that way, and they saw us playing, and they liked, what we were doing, and they said, "Hey, man, you guys should play on our records." And so we started to play on the records, and then, our relationship, progressed from there. But in '84 with Broadway's Closer to Sunset Boulevard, we had a variety of ideas. Some were kind of top 40, some were, sort of, rock and roll, and some were R&B. It was like we were just kind of experimenting and, seeing, how far we could go in certain directions,
Wow. And that was 84, and that was right when I had that the same year I started working with Sony Music, and that was just a really, really interesting time. And what were you doing at that time, LJ?
Oh, in 84, I'm just sitting here because I'm listening and I'm thinking, wow, what an influence. And I mean, did you have any?
Okay, we got a little bit of bad reception.
Yeah, kind of breaking up a little bit there.
Is it really? Okay, what about now? Is this better?
Yeah,
that's better.
Okay, great. And I was saying, back in the 80s, I'm 3 years out of high school, of course, influenced greatly by your music. And did you think that it would, to this day, be such a strong and a powerful influence for the people of the day, young people, probably were just being thought of being born back in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean that's something that's kind of you hope for, but you never really know. When you're creating that music. We were just in there going in the studio trying to do something positive and trying to do our best. And it just so happens that it turned out that way. And I'm very pleased that it is. I'm very happy to see. And it's, LA mentioned Facebook earlier. I get so many comments from people now, and I never knew the impact it had on people's personal lives until just recently. Going on Facebook, and I appreciate those comments so much that I get that feedback. So it's something that you hope for, but you never really know until someone tells you.
That's awesome.
Inspiring, because I think the depth and the some of the shallowness of music, unfortunately, today there is not the degree of depth that you write, and and you have the music that you continue to do, like back then and now. I think it's really causing people to take a look at the influence and how it can create such a strong, powerful feeling. Even now, everybody's in love. Everybody wants to be in love. Everybody wants somebody to love. So I'm thinking about that, and it's just a timeless environment to write in. About the power of love and that jazz, that feel good bluesy feeling. You want to feel good, and that's a good thing. And I applaud you for that and staying true. Glad it worked out.
Thank you. I'm sorry, you were kind of breaking up a little bit. I didn't get all of you said, but when I do write music, I do want to write positive lyrics. And when I write a love song, it's a positive one. I think nowadays sometimes, it's a little bit too negative sometimes. For me, I have to be positive with my lyrics because of my commitment to Jesus Christ. So if I write a love song, it's going to be what I would call a nice one. You know what I mean? It's going to be pure, and from the heart. That's where I write from.
That's great. So like when you're making your tracks, say in particular with that particular project, Isley Jasper Isley, and then of course we know you moved into the Caravan of Love. Do you guys like start from a basic theme, or is it the bass guitar that gets things going? Is it the keyboard harmony? Is it a lyric? What was that process all about?
Well, like when I wrote stuff like Caravan, I started from chord progression, from practicing. That's usually where ideas come to me. I'll either sit down at the piano or I'll get the guitar and fill out chords. Caravan I actually filled out on the guitar. I was just one day I just had the guitar on and walking around and just filling out some chords here and there, and I fell across that progression in the chorus. I said, "Wow, it sounds pretty good." So I went in and started working on the keyboard part, and just kind of built the song from there. And the melody came to me a little later on. And then I wanted to write, the lyrics, something that was happening in my life at the time. I was really starting to understand the scriptures of the Bible and reading them quite a bit. And the theme of Caravan of Love comes from the Bible. Actually, it comes from the time when Christ returns, and there will be peace on earth.
Wow.
People will, be able to get along with each other, and it's just built on that theme.
Wow. Well, what did that album end up doing? Did it do gold or platinum?
Yeah, it was a gold album.
Wow.
And we, that song, it stands out to me because, it was like it was a return to our trio. Number one, it was, I was singing lead on there. I got to keep my lead vocals this time. Yeah. Which I used to sing all the Isley Brothers stuff first.
Wow.
So did Ernie too.
Oh wow.
But this time there was my lead vocal on there, and it went number one. And it's for a lot of reasons. Like I said, it was a turning point in my life too. So for a lot of reasons, that song stands out.
Man, it does.
One of the high points.
And then just jumping back to Broadway's Closer to Sunset Boulevard, I was looking at the album cover, and right about that time, I had moved to Atlanta in 1982, and I started doing some work in studios, and I hooked up with this guy, Haywood Tucker, who I interviewed, and he's on one of my shows. But man, I tell you what, I had a Roland VP330 vocoder, and I went out and got a Roland SH1, which was like a mobile type of keyboard that you strap around. But what kind of keyboard did you have? You had one of those big monster guys that was mobile.
Yeah, I had custom altered an ARP 2600.
Wow.
If you remember the song "Take Me to the Next Phase."
Oh, of course.
That bass line is the ARP 2600, and it was such a good song for us. When I did the song in the studio, I said, well, you know what? It would be cool if when we did this song live, I could, take this keyboard and, we'll just go around the stage, playing it,
Man.
And I kind of had alter it for me so I could do that. And he put in a really long extension on it.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that. How'd you get around the AC cord?
Yeah, that was a special cable that he made for me that I could, just walk all over the stage. It was about maybe 30 feet long.
Man.
And that's my first keyboard that I altered. I had another one. I can't remember the name of it, but I use it on "Tell Me When You Need It Again." I bought that one. That was the heaviest one. I couldn't really do much with that one.
Oh, I thought that was how you got all those muscles and everything from lugging that keyboard around.
Well, I would work out first. That my workouts helped me. I can tell you that. That keyboard. The ARP wasn't that heavy, and then I got what they call a Liberation, a Moog Liberation, which I donated that to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh wow.
That's there. If you want to go there, it's in Cleveland. It's behind glass.
Wow.
With another one of my uniforms that I donated there too.
That's right. You guys, had some great costumes, uniforms, whatever. Stage.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
It's there if you want to see it.
That was definitely another thing. Was the music first and foremost stood out and was great, but definitely, like LJ said, that the costumes you guys had between you guys and Earth, Wind and Fire, man. I mean, y'all had the costumes.
Yeah.
Now,
there was a couple of designers, that worked on our things. We've got Bernard Johnson. He did something in New York, and then we had George Odell. He designed some of the stuff.
I'm glad you mentioned him because he was in that picture that I posted. I noticed in the background he was standing in the back, so he was like an intricate part of your group.
Yeah, he was around almost all the time when we would do shows, because he would work on the wardrobes and also whatever else needed to be done. He was very close to the family for a long time.
Wow. That's amazing, man.
It really is. I'm just. Who would you say, Brother Chris, were your earlier inspirations?
Oh, I can definitely say Sam Cooke, Ray Charles, Marvin Gaye, Jackie Wilson.
Wow.
As far as performers and singers,
The classic.
I really like those guys' styles.
That's.
I learned a lot. I learned a lot from listening to their music, and of course the whole Motown sound.
Oh yeah.
That goes without saying. Fly,
Uh-huh.
Fly. I followed them quite a bit, and it's just. I mean, those are the people that stood out to me when I was, learning, and I would play by ear at first, before I even took lessons.
That's great.
Ray Charles and Sam Cooke records, man. I'd be filling it out on the piano, Then my mom says, well, why don't you take lessons? You could really learn a lot. I said, sure. She could read music too, played piano. So I started taking it from a professor in Cincinnati that she knew. I really learned a lot from him.
It came out on the records. Well, while we're talking about the music, we'll take a quick break and zip on in the Caravan of Love, the song. And I'll tell you what, that was just a great song. tell you what, it's just great to have you, sir. It's an honor. It's a pleasure. You cover so many years. I mean, I've turned into an old man myself at this point, and you were jamming when I was still a kid. So I tell you what.
Man, don't say that, man. I still think I'm young.
Well, you're only as old as you feel, and I tell you what, anybody that's been doing it as long as you and still going strong, man, there's nothing but respect, man. I mean, even if you were 100 years old and you're still doing your thing, that's just a big ups, hats off on that tip, man.
Well, thanks to God, because I feel great, man. And, I feel strong,
that's
right.
right.
I've always been.
And God is at the power. I was at the Peachtree Village Independent Film Festival this weekend, and they had a bunch of people. I was just so blessed to have met so many people. A tear came to my eye because you remember What's Happening. They had Raj and Dee there. And it was just amazing. Dee came up to the stage. I said, "Who's that lady in the crutches?" And she climbed up there, and it turned out that she had some kind of operation, and she was in therapy and rehabilitation and coming back. But her husband came up and spoke about that entire episode of her starting to feel the pain, and then over time it got worse and worse, and then she went to the hospital. They had an operation. Then she couldn't walk at all for a while, and it took an even longer time for her to just start walking again. But every person, not just them, and that was the good and the bad, but people that didn't go that far and had that kind of bad stuff happen, people that were just in good health, and I was just amazed at how many people came up there and gave all praises to God and Jesus Christ, and it made me feel so good. I almost felt like I was in church.
That's good. That's very nice.
So go on. Go ahead.
No, I just try to do the right things and try to live the right way, and like I said, I've been blessed, in that way. I just have a few gray hairs. I don't even have that. So.
That's how God does you, man.
God has really blessed me that way.
He wants his tools looking right and representing him, and I really believe that everybody that's ever stood out that represents God, that goes out there and gives all praises to him, everybody that I've noticed is a God-blessed person, always has a feature, if not several features, that make them stand out. So, you're just representing, bro.
Hey, man, I'm trying.
And you're doing a great job. Doing a great job.
Longevity, that definitely speaks a lot. Let me ask you this. Back in the day, did you guys ever feel any racism in any places that you played, in those types of segregation, any that you ever traveling?
I'm sorry, it's still breaking up on this end. I didn't get all of what you said.
I'm sorry, this is not. I apologize for that. I was asking whether you ever experienced as an entertainer any racism in any areas that you've traveled.
I personally have been lucky. I never really had that kind of experience in my travels. We were very businesslike, for one thing. When we went on the road, we got into town, and we went right to the hotel, checked in, went to the sound check. After the sound check, we had a little dinner, and then after that, did the show that night, and then sometimes we get out of town right that next night.
Wow.
So it was very business and routine, when we would go on the road. And like I said, I never experienced any of that. Although I heard things, that maybe happened with other people, but personally I hadn't.
That's great. Because a lot of people have horror stories. I mean,
I know. And like I said, I guess it was just lucky that it came our way. At least when I was on the road with the group.
Well, that's great. So what would since you've gone through different eras, what would you say was the most memorable era? Was it before when it was the three you guys, you and the other two Isleys starting out before you guys got hooked up into the big group, or was it with the big group, or was it Isley Jasper Isley, or was it you as a solo artist?
Well, I guess I would just have to say they were all great experiences, and there were unique things about both. All three experiences, including my solo career. But I guess the most, as far as attention, as far as touring and that kind of thing, that happened with the 6-member group.
Oh, okay.
We did a lot more touring when we were, say, from '73 to '83.
Okay.
We toured with Isaac Jasper Isley. That was, like the tour we did with Luther Vandross. That was a great tour.
Oh man.
And that had its own special thing to it.
Oh yeah.
And then my solo career, that's always exciting. I'm always doing new things. With from Superbad all the way to now.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to produce a song for Shaka Khan during that time.
Wow.
I produced 2 or 3 other groups. On my label, and I'm working with my son Michael. That's another exciting thing. Working with your family. My son. That's a great thing. And
yeah. How old is he?
He's 20. He's turning 20 in September.
Wow.
And it's just so many things that I've experienced that are great.
Man.
And like I said, there's great things about each phase of the career.
Well, I was on your website and I checked out. I saw a very interesting picture. It just blew my mind because I'm a closet keyboard guy. Not that I'm a great keyboard player or anything. I guess I'm a better engineer than keyboards. But I've always loved keyboards. I've always read like Keyboard Magazine, especially when George Duke was writing that keyboard column. But I was just so blown away to see a picture of you on stage with the guitar. What was up with that? I mean, you're just a multi-instrumentalist?
I did that all the time when we did live shows because there were times in the songs that there was more than one guitar part on the record.
Uh-huh.
So when I got live, I would play one of the rhythm parts.
Wow.
And that was kind of routine for me to play guitar. I play guitar on songs like "Don't Say Goodnight," "I Want to Be with You."
What? Those are pretty big hits.
Yeah, I was playing guitar on there. I played bass on "Tell Me When You Need It Again" and "Slow Down Children." A lot of the songs I actually played the bass part on it.
Wow.
But they didn't list it. They didn't list the credits that way because according to some people who do the credits,
right.
If you're a keyboard player, they just put you as a keyboard player, and then they put the bass player as a bass player.
Right.
But we didn't care. We just wanted to get the music right.
Uh-huh.
The 3 of us didn't care who played what.
Man. So how has things changed? You had a question, LJ?
I was saying it had such an impact, that song. It had such a powerful impact. Those songs you mentioned definitely ring with me.
Man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. So how has the whole game changed as far as, you and we were just talking about the live instruments, bass, guitar, keyboards. How has things changed now with technology and Pro Tools and everything? You still applying the old theory, or did you have to find yourself moving into a new way of producing and recording songs?
Well, the technology is there, and I use it, but I still record my records the same way that I would record them if the technology was not there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I still play all the parts.
Wow.
I play them to the end, of the song.
Yeah, no overdubs, no punching.
Yeah, I play them as though I was, recording it to a 24-track machine.
Unbelievable.
You know what I mean? I still play all of the parts manually.
And I think that's what makes that feeling, adhere to the song.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't get into that automation thing, I just can't do it. And like I said, I don't think there's the music is right if you don't do it that way. You know what I mean? I just don't think it feels right if you don't play the part.
Right.
Because on a song like "Keep Believing," you know, that's on the Inspired album.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I played the guitar part just like I did on "I Want to Be with You."
Wow.
And a lot of people say, well, you know, your song sounds like, you know, it's the Isley sound. But, well, you know, I don't think a lot of people realize how involved I was in that sound.
Yep.
You know, how many things I played.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's why it does sound that way, because it was me playing.
Right, your influence.
So, yeah, you know, I heard Team Next Phase on the radio today, and I was just listening to it. And I said, you know, something that song is almost all keyboards.
Wow. Yeah, that was a funky bass line on that thing, boy. Man.
See, that song started off a different way. You know, Ernie was playing another bass line at first.
Oh, wow.
I said, no, Ernie, that's not quite in the pocket yet. I said, go out to the drum booth and play the drums, and I'll play the ARP in here, the synthesizer bass in here. And that's how we built that song, from the drums and the bass.
Okay.
You know, and then, you know, we jumped in the pocket once we got that combination going.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you know, a lot of songs were built from the keyboards up.
Right.
That's the point I'm making.
Okay. Now,
a lot of the Isley Brothers music was built on the keyboards, and then, you know, overdubbed.
Now, speaking of the keyboards and everything, I know we mentioned George Duke earlier. It's sad that he passed, and I sure am going to miss him. But did you ever get an opportunity to work with him or do anything with him?
I never did, no.
Oh, wow.
I never did.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, right now we're going to go on and pull up one of your songs off your new album, Keep Believing. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, like I said, that's the funk that, you know, I'm used to playing, and I thought, you know, it would be a good thing to put on this album. And also, it's a message in Keep Believing, a message of encouragement,
okay,
to especially young people who maybe haven't been told some things that they need to hear as far as how to really progress and get ahead and to better their lives.
Okay.
Keep Believing has a message in it.
Well, we're going to pull that up.
To keep achieving, to keep striving for your goals, you know, to own the things that you make.
Mm-hmm.
Talks about ownership, that nobody's in your way, that, you know, do these things. You know, you don't need a helping hand. You don't need somebody to hand you anything.
All right. Put down those guns and pick up those books. And listen to what I'm getting ready to put down.
like James Brown said, I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Open up the door and I get it myself.
Get it myself.
That's the kind of message this is.
That's positive.
And, James Brown had another song, I'm Black and I'm Proud. I know y'all remember that.
Oh, definitely.
But there was a verse in there that people, I think, forget. And he said, we demand a chance to do things for ourselves. We're tired of beating our heads against the wall and working for someone else.
Wow.
Say it loud.
Okay.
So it was a message of, self-ownership and controlling your own destiny. That's the kind of message that's in Keep Believing.
Okay. Something that you said about, being self-sustaining, it made me remember, and I guess at this point I'll go on and plug my book, Musicology 2101, A Quick Start Guide to Music Biz History. And I talk about a lot of different things in music and a lot of people in music. But one of the things that you mentioned earlier, Chris, was about being self-sustaining. And one artist that I wrote about that really stood out to me as far as self-sustainment was a gentleman named James Reese Europe. And he was a musician that went out and he fought in the war. And he led one of the first, if not the first, black musical regiment called the Hellfighters, and that was what he was all about. And he went out and fought, and when he came back to the States, he saw that things hadn't changed much as far as racism, and he kept saying, look, we don't want handouts, we just want to get it ourselves. So it's just amazing that a lot of musicians play music and are quiet, and then you've got the musicians like you and James Brown that had that statement that they make, and they want to pass that on to other people that, hey, I think that's pretty good. Oh,
okay.
That's not a problem at all. But, yeah, I was mentioning James Reese Europe and how he went out and fought. Did you catch that part?
I don't think I caught that part.
Okay. No. Yeah, I was plugging my book, Musicology 2101, A Quick Start Guide to Music Biz History. And in that, I was talking about one particular artist that really jumped out at me named James Reese Europe. And he went out to fight in the war. Well, he was a musician before. He left the South and ended up in New York. But then he went off and joined the military and started one of the first, if not the first, musical regiments. And they went out and fought in the war out in France and all that stuff. And, when he came back to the States, he saw that nothing really changed as far as racism. And to piggyback on your thought about, James Brown and, what you're saying about what you were saying about Keep Believing, he just wanted a chance to get stuff on his own. He believed that black people should get their own, find their own way and make their own economic situation. And so when you said that, that's who I thought about was James Reese Europe. And he was just a powerful guy and, strong black man and, just wanted to get it themselves. And, I commented about the fact that some musicians just play music and they don't make any kind of social statement. And then we have guys like you and James Brown and others that really have a statement to make on top of playing music as far as, building an economic base.
I think that's important because people, whether I heard people say, well, we're not role models and this, that, and the other, and a whole lot of excuses, But the fact is, I've seen in the last few years how much my music has influenced people, And in a way, I have been a role model. So what I do and what I say matters, to some people.
Absolutely.
Matters to me.
I feel I'm obligated to say the truth, to say something that's meaningful, in my music. And even if, like I said, even if it's a love song, it should be something that's, like I said, good and pure, something that a person can, benefit from. I had a minister tell me that he's going to use any day one of the songs from my album in his sermon.
Wow, we're going to play that coming up next, as a matter of fact.
And it's just, that's the kind of thing that I think is important. Is if you can say something important that someone can hold on to for a while, and it may make a difference in their life. I think it's very important to do that kind of thing.
So what makes, why is it that some musicians just are into it for the entertainment aspect and others are into it to really make a statement? Is there any kind of, differential there?
personalities and who they are. A person can only be who they are. They can only put out what's inside of them. Any artist is the same way. And I just have a lot of things in me. I've always wanted to make statements. If it was from a song like The Pride, or People of Today, that was with the group Isley Brothers, Caravan of Love. I'm always trying to make a statement. There was a song on the next album, Isley album, Brother to Brother, where I addressed apartheid situation. When it was happening in South Africa. The song was called Brother to Brother.
Oh, okay.
I just feel if I have this privilege to record music, which it is a privilege, I think it's important to say something that's meaningful from time to time.
Mm-hmm. And that's really, really important because a lot of people are just saying stuff. I mean, a lot of times I'm watching people walking with their headphones on and, I love my nephew to death, but, I think he still thinks that Gucci Mane is the greatest rapper that ever lived. And then when I listen to it, it's like, well, he's not really saying anything.
This is you made a good point. You can say things that sound nice rhythmically, you can excite the crowd, but at the end of the day, what did you really say?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What was the message? Was there a message in it or not? And I would like to, some of my songs, if you just take the music out and just look at the lyrics, there's a message there. Something that you can read. I'm going to make a speech in Washington in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to use Keep Believing as part of the speech.
Wow.
Because the lyrics are saying something. They're meaningful. These are things that our quote-unquote leaders are not telling the people, that they should be telling them, that will empower them,
Yep.
I think they're missing the boat there.
Yep.
And I'm just glad that I'm able to address it.
I am too, because I find that I'm graduated. I gravitate towards music that has a message, and within the first 30 seconds or a minute of hearing a particular song, I could tell whether there's a message there or not, whether it's in the music and I can groove to it, or whether it's in the lyrics. I mean, LJ, you were in a band back in the 80s or so. What was your focus on?
Well, the love songs, everybody was always writing about love, so that definitely was a theme. We covered a lot of peak at the time, the good times and the slow songs. We covered a lot of those guys, and it was a great time. And you're right, it's at the end of the day, like you said, Brother Chris, what you say inspire me to change or to be different in a positive way?
Mm-hmm.
Did it bring about something in a shift in my mind? Because if I was going down the wrong path, did what you say create a shift, or did it make me feel good? Did it lift me up? Did it create anything positive change? And I was wondering, what are your feelings now that this whole thing is developing with Robin Thicke, I think it is, with the covering Marvin Gaye's "Got to Give It Up."
Yeah.
What do you think about that whole situation? Is it a disrespect? To just think that you can, do that without much responsibility in terms of respecting the family? I mean, I don't know. Talk about how you feel about that.
Well, I don't know the whole case and the whole situation, but I do know if you cover a song or if you sample or use part of a song, you're obligated to first of all get a license for it, to do it. And then after you get that license, the record company is obligated to pay royalties to the original songwriter, the owner of the copyright.
Okay.
So that's how it should go. Now, like I said, I don't know all the facts of the case, but if it's not going that way, it's going the wrong way. I'll put it that way.
Okay, plain and simple. Okay.
Yeah, if it's not going that way, it's going the wrong way.
Wow.
And because I heard the song and I knew that was got to give it up immediately.
Wow.
And he should be not him, but the record company should be paying whoever the heirs are of Marvin Gaye's catalog, whoever controls that.
Right.
That record company should be paying them a royalty for that.
Man, and what I read was that I don't know all about the whole situation myself, but I remember reading online something about Robin Thicke. He launched a lawsuit first and he was saying something about that, because he expected the family or the copyright owners to come over him, and he alluded to the fact that they'll ride you forever. They sit around and wait for you to, copy their song or cover their song, and then whoever's song is covered, the copyright owner rides you, and they look at it as a free meal ticket for them.
Can't do it. Won't fly. I don't know why he has think he has the right to sue them. I don't see that. They certainly have a position to sue him.
Right.
If he's not paying royalties.
Right.
That's why I went back to law school. That's why I got my law degree. To understand copyright and to understand, contracts better, and the things that I may run into as a recording artist or and a record label owner. I wanted to know what the law had to say about it.
Right. So would you say
that? And keep believing too. Keep achieving. I'm not just talking the talk. I do these things. I understand how important education is. I understand, and I try to apply it to my what I do professionally.
Great.
And I think so many people miss the boat, without knowing that. The more you know, the better off you are.
Better off you are. So would you say that, intrinsically, law and understanding contracts, it's just like welded at the hip, so to speak, as far as the music industry or, protecting yourself and protecting your music? You cannot go out there as a musician or as an artist without knowing or having someone on your team that understands a good bit of legal ramifications?
Exactly. You should not. You should not go into this business.
You hear that,
without
folks?
either knowing something yourself,
That's
or,
right.
like you said, someone that you can trust that knows the ins and outs of the business. I don't think you should be. I don't think you should enter the business because 9 times out of 10 you're going to be taken advantage of.
Wow.
And that's not a good thing. That's not a good feeling. And I think sometimes when people are taken advantage of because their career's short, because they get disheartened, disillusioned, sometimes they'll quit, and just abandon the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So I would advise anyone not to even try it unless you have good counsel or you have a good knowledge yourself.
Wow.
Of how this business is.
That's amazing. Well, we're getting ready to move into another one of your tracks, Any Day. Tell us about that song.
Okay, Any Day is, of course, it's one of the love songs on the album. And the theme of it is, if you could go to anywhere in the world, see any of the wonders that are out there, that would be great, but you would rather be with the one you love any day.
Wow. Okay.
That's kind of the concept behind this.
Let's check that one out.
If I could go up to the top of the world, see everything there is to see, check out the Louvre and the Champs-Elysees, but I'd rather be with you any day. I'd rather be with you any day. I'd rather be with you any day. I need you right by my side. Sail on the ocean across 7 seas, explore a place so far away, take in the pyramids and the Serengeti. I'd rather be with you any day. Whoa, whoa. the Grand Taj Mahal with all the riches of my dream. Girl, when I'm with you, I feel like a king. I'd rather be with you. Any day. Oh, any day. I'd rather be with you. Oh, any day. Need you right here, baby. I'd rather be with you. Any day. I need you right by my side. I'd rather be with you. Any day. Any day, baby. I'd rather be with you. Any day. You're the one that I love. Any day. Whoa, I'd rather be with you. Look so fine. You're always on my mind. I'd rather be with you. Any day. Whoa, I'd rather be with you, baby. Any day. Whoa, I'd rather be with you. Any day. I'd rather be with you. Any day. You're the one that I love. Any day, baby. Though you look so good, look so fine. Don't go away. Any day. Don't go away, baby. Any day.
You know, we had a special guest on last week, my friend Sir Rod, and he was the creative services director with So Deaf. And he dropped off a book in my hand last week, and I was so proud of him because I hate to be the only one running around in my clan with a book and promoting my book. I want to be able to talk about books by all my friends. Lori, LJ, and I had the great opportunity to go to elementary school with Bowlegged Lou and Paul Anthony and Brian from Full Force. And last year they put out a book called Not Just a House Party. And I just love to be able to talk about my friends' books in addition to mine. So Sir Rod has one called The 10 Commandments of the Stage, subtitle Make Them Remember You. And it talks about something that you were talking about earlier about, you know, understanding the whole thing of being a performer, you know, from etiquette to arriving on the scene on time, coming in a business manner, you know, conducting your business, stage presence, holding the mic, doing interviews. And is there any one area that's stronger than another, or should you kind of strive to have a good balance between everything?
I always think balance is good, but it's also good to be good at one particular thing too, or maybe a couple. But see, I think a person's strong point maybe should be, you know, performing. But I think there's another strong point that a lot of people may not have the talent for, and that is songwriting. Songwriting, I think, is the key to your longevity. It's kind of the lifeblood of this business. And if you can be a good songwriter, you can kind of write your own ticket.
That's great.
As far as, you know, how long you want to do something, because I'm doing that. I'm doing that right now. I'm not depending on anybody else to write songs for me.
Okay.
You know, and that's a big problem for a lot of artists, is that they have all this talent, you know, maybe vocally or, you know, what's the vehicle?
Right.
The song is the vehicle.
Uh-huh.
And if you can be a good songwriter, I think that's huge. You know, Smokey Robinson was one.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm a member of a couple of different music organizations. One is the National Association of Record Industry Professionals. That's NARIP, www.narip.com. And also a member of the Georgia Music Industry Association. That's www.gmia.org. GMIA.org. And what the GMIA does, they originally started off as the Atlanta Songwriters Association, and even though they changed their name to the Georgia Music Industry Association, it's still the number one focus to concentrate on helping their members and more particularly the songwriters develop good songs. So they always have meetings based around songwriting and song critique and, collaborating and, the song, because at the end of the day, that's really what it is that song and your delivery of it. So, what you're saying definitely makes sense. It's that song and how you present it.
Yes, and that's what everybody looks for.
Yeah.
If you're shopping something around, that's the first thing people are going to listen for. The song.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a good song here? Do we have a hit record?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes performance is secondary.
Right.
Because it always has been.
Yep.
As great as the Temptations were, it took them 3 years to get a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking about them. Yeah, when you said that. Yes.
They're a great singing group, but hey, singing isn't the thing that makes you get a hit. It's the song. Now, if you put a good performance to a great song, you got a hit.
Yeah.
But you got to have a great song first.
That's true.
You can't sing your way into a hit.
That's
and a
got
lot
to
of
be
people
built.
think they can do that.
Yep.
They think, I have all this talent. I can get a hit because I can sing. No, you can't.
You gotta have a
No, you
great
can't.
song.
You gotta have a good song.
That's right, man. That's absolutely right. Now, shifting over a little bit, LJ, I've known LJ since 1970. We've been good friends, but I found out something new about her a couple weeks ago when we started doing our program together, and I was looking at her bio and saw that she was involved in a lot of stuff. She's in Charlotte, and man, she's been doing stuff with stage plays and local reality shows on top of being a gospel radio personality. So my question to you is, have you done any work, or are you looking at doing any work in the film or television or video or play arena?
I'd love to do a film. I've always wanted to do a film score because that's what I took in college. I took composition.
Wow.
Actually, I started to study it before I went to college.
Okay.
That's from Cincinnati. So, composition is my thing. Songwriting and composing and orchestration. I would love to do a film score. That's one of my things I would like to do that I haven't done.
Wow. Well, I guess I might have to call you up next year before that Peachtree Village Film Festival and get you to come down and mix and mingle with some of these film guys.
Yeah, that might be nice.
Because I tell you what, right now it just seems to me that, and and I know, just from my experiences as Sony started, with the advent of the internet, MP3s, file sharing, the music industry started to just kind of implode. And out in Carrollton, Georgia, which is about 60 miles west of Atlanta, they had the plant, and I had the pleasure of touring the plant a couple times and seeing the whole process of them making records, tapes, CDs, and a huge facility that made the raw materials and everything. And now if you go over there, it's a ghost town. There's not one soul there. They closed the entire plant down. It's just amazing that progress has done that. So, it's I said that to say that the music industry has shifted dramatically, and it seems to me that now music has become not its own entity, but it's kind of welded into being parts of other things. And like, for instance, I heard that Jay-Z had this deal where he shipped platinum out the box with his new release by having some company buy the million copies and using it in promotions or what have you. So what are your thoughts there as far as, seeing music welding into film and other forms of media?
Well, I have to say, I know you heard of the phrase, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Uh-huh.
And I think that applies to the music industry. Just because they could do the technology, they should have maybe thought about, should they actually do it? Because I remember going to the different stores when the CD first came out, and I would also see CD recorders in the same stores.
Oh, wow.
And I thought to myself, someone isn't thinking here. Here, Sony Music, has a record division, and they sell CDs, but they also sell CD recorders.
Mm-hmm.
Makes no sense.
Wow.
And then should they have made the CD recorders or not? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they shouldn't have. But as far as the internet is concerned, okay, you can do certain things, but should you have done it?
Mm-hmm.
Does it make things better if you do it? Some things, although they're, they could be a technological advance, doesn't mean that it's going to be a good outcome to it.
Right.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to use wisdom and say, should I do this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can. It's like the atomic bomb. Okay, you have the knowledge to invent something that'll split the atom. But the next question is, should I do this?
Right.
That's the difference between intellect and wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's a lack of wisdom in this world today because people have turned from God.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Oh, amen. Preach that thing.
When you turn from God, the first thing you lose is wisdom. And that's why you see all this crazy stuff going on today. The people in Congress don't know what the hell they're doing.
Nope.
People who have gone to law school and intelligent people seem to have no judgment.
Man, I'm glad
because
you
they have
said that.
turned and rejected God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things that go on that we see go on. It's all people say. Well, the Bible is not relevant, and certain things are relevant. Yeah, it's directly relevant today.
Absolutely. More so than ever.
And it's why things are, so screwed up.
So screwed up.
Because people have rejected God's way and said, okay, we have a way of doing it. I'm so smart, I can figure this stuff out for myself. Oh, sure. And look how it's going to turn out.
Yep.
Has the technology improved things, or have we actually gone backwards a bit? And if you examine it, we're going backwards.
Yep.
How many people have lost their jobs because of technology?
Yep.
Come on now. That's exactly right.
You know what I mean? How many musicians are kind of, suffering because of technology? They can't, people sharing files, and, the sales aren't like they used to be. How many people can't even get into the business because of technology?
Yep.
So, sometimes things might seem fine or seem like a step forward, but they're actually 2 steps backwards.
Yep.
And it's because of lack of wisdom.
Mm.
There's not much wisdom going on today.
So
because people have rejected the Creator.
So what's ahead? Do you see a new movement of any sort, or do you see the nucleus of a new movement happening these days that might lead us back in the right direction? Because I know, as humans and in life, things are cyclical. So do you think it's going to swing back to where there will be a lot more people forging forward, in God's name and trying to do the right thing?
Well, I hope so, but I'm doing my part, whatever I can do. I've done 4 gospel albums, and they're just not feel-good albums.
Mm-hmm.
They have good instruction in them. Some of the songs, some of the songs glorify God. Some of them tell who He is.
Mm-hmm.
What His will is. How we should live. There's a lot of instruction in my music, so
Wow.
I'm trying to do my part.
That's great.
Because I'm committed to that. That's not just something I'm going to say one day and forget the next.
And you have a legacy that proves your point.
I try to live my life according to His will.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever I say, I want it to be, seasoned and, will edify and maybe, build a person up.
There you go.
There's too many things, too many people out here trying to, accentuate the negative.
Absolutely.
Talk about be in the gutter, and that's not the way.
Mm-hmm.
We already know what's wrong.
Right.
We already know that.
Right.
Something that can improve. Say something that can make people better, to educate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, God wants us to be smart.
That's
He
right.
doesn't want us to be, ignorant.
Mm-mm.
He wants us to be intelligent. It says, study to show yourself approved of Him. He wants us to study and be students
That's right.
of Him, of His Word.
That's right.
So these are things I'm trying to work on. You know, like I said, when I give a speech in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be talking about some of these things.
Man,
And it'll be to the ministers.
that's right.
I'm going to be talking to about 40 ministers. So I'm trying to do my part, and I hope, there's a turn, a return to God. I have to say I don't see it, though.
Wow.
Because there's so much deception going on.
Yeah. I went to
Even within,
I went to Lenox Mall the other day, actually about a month ago, and I was because I just got my book printed in paper form, and I was trying to find some record stores or bookstores that to place it in, and it's just what you said. I couldn't believe what I saw. Every store was all about making you look good. So it's clothing stores, bag stores, eyeglasses, shoes, sneakers, accessories. Every store transformed into a store to highlight I and me instead of us and we and God. I just couldn't believe it.
I know. And another thing that's happening?
What?
Books are starting to be taken out of circulation.
Yep.
For online books.
Yep.
Now that's another one. Okay, we can do it, but should we?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The wisdom factor.
Yep.
Should we do this? I think it's a terrible move.
Terrible.
But some companies are trying to go that way.
Yep. Take away the reading. Everybody wants to look at a video now.
Go to a device and hardcover. I like marking up my books and putting and dog earing the pages and underlining and writing in the margin. I'm always gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh, you ought to see my Bible. It's falling apart. But I put duct tape on it. And I try to rebind it. I'm never gonna get rid of that. I don't care what they say. That's the one I learned on.
Mm-hmm.
And that I'm always gonna keep that. I don't care.
Yeah, because in the pulpit now, like you said, it's just all about the iPad.
No. I'm not taking that up there. I'm keeping my Bible, man.
That's amazing, man. It's just, I like the paper. I mean, I've done things, and I was working on my book for a while, and on the computer, on the laptop, and writing and making revisions. But the most drastic revisions I was able to make was after it was converted to paper form, when it was actually a book and I was able to read it as a book.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the only time I was really able to see it for what it was.
And you don't need your battery. You'll never lose battery power with a book either.
Exactly. That's true. That's true. Well, let's check out this song you have called Someone, and tell us about that one.
Yeah, Someone. Yeah, that's another love song on the album. I think I have like 4 on the album.
Okay.
But Someone is it's talking about that special person, someone you love to be around. You thank the Lord that you found them.
And everybody needs someone to love.
That's right. That's what that song is talking about.
Let's check it out.
So glad I found someone.
you what, the education factor with music, I just love it because just like you were saying, you can use it to have fun with, but I think one of the things, and I do like music to have fun with and forget about troubles and all that stuff. But I tell you what, I want to learn. I want to get a message,
Yeah. I mean, Fight the Power had a message in it.
It sure did.
It was a funky song. People got into it,
Mm-hmm.
and it seemed to have a militant message, but it really wasn't. It was about being heard. Going through red tape. When you're trying to get something accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Fight the Power was about.
Man.
And everybody understands red tape.
Oh yeah, and that definitely was a tape
When
cutter.
you're trying to do something, nobody's hearing you. You write letters. They won't get back to you. And that's what that song was about. And then we just tailored it to music. I tried to play my music. They said it was too loud. Tried talking about it. Got the big runaround.
Mm-hmm.
When I rolled with the punches, I got knocked on the ground. By all this BS going down.
Oh man.
So it's like it happens, and you gotta get up and fight. You gotta get back up and fight.
Yup.
That's what that song was about.
Man, I tell you,
There
that
was a message in there,
classic.
And but it was funky. You know what I mean? People got into it because
Mm-hmm.
of this groove. And that's what I want. I want to keep my grooves going. I want to keep it, but I also want to say something.
That's right. And see that song, and that was called "Fight the Power," right?
Yeah.
And then look at the one of the most controversial hip hop groups in history, Public Enemy, had a song called what? "Fight the Power."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely wisdom in those words, in the title, the whole concept, and I think you guys just, and throughout every phase, really, just, the pre-Isley Brothers version of Chris Jasper with Ernie and Ronnie, and I think it was Ronnie, but just the fact that every stage of what you were involved with, had a message. It had something more to it than just flash in the pan, and for that I always, you're embedded inside of me because you were one of the driving forces that kept me going, especially when the music started to wane and get deflated. You guys stood strong, and you've gone on to stay strong yourself. I can listen to your new stuff and get the same mode of thought, the same motivation as any other music that you've produced throughout your career, man. And I can't even say that about 1/10 of the music artists that I've listened to in my life.
That's a great compliment. I appreciate that. Thank you.
And you definitely.
Are you traveling much? You traveling, and how do people find out more about your music? You have a website?
Yeah.
Yeah. They can go to chrisjasper.com, and where to purchase the CDs is on there. I have a event section, a calendar event that they can see. What things are coming up. They can either the bio information. There's all kinds of information about me on there, and all you have to do is go to chrisjasper.com.
Cool.
And it'll take you to Facebook.
Oh yeah, definitely Facebook.
Whatever I'm jasper.com, you can get to everything from there.
Cool. And you doing anything else online or on the internet, Twitter,
I
Tumblr?
do this in the studio segment every once in a while, which I'm going to do another one pretty soon. I'm just trying to decide which song to do it on.
Okay.
But I've done a couple already.
Cool.
And people seem to be interested in that, like what happened, how you put the song together,
Mm-hmm.
what it took to do it.
Yeah.
So I've kind of made it a regular thing now.
Cool. Excellent. All right. Well, LJ, you got anything?
I think we have really picked it. Brother Chris. Thank you so much. Really, this has been just a wealth of information. I'm just really excited to have connected with you and to get updated. And thank you so very much for joining us. Yes,
Absolutely.
This has been great.
Sure, it's my pleasure. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jasper. I know we're going to be hearing from you. I'm going to keep talking about you. I'm never going to stop because, the music thing is great, but just the education, the spirituality, that's the whole formation of the entire human experience as far as I'm concerned. So you ain't going nowhere in my book. You're going to stay right close to me, man. So,
Thank
hey.
you. I'm gonna keep recording and keep doing what I'm doing, man.
That's right, man. We need you to do that, and we appreciate you stopping by, joining us on this was a 2-in-1 show today. We had the conversations with Val and Sal, but it was also the Hall of Fame. So, hey, we thank you so much for your time. You had a million other places you could have been, a million other things you could have been doing, and you spent it with us. So here's how I like to end my shows, and it's by saying that, remember, God needs us all to do something good for him, but first, we have to do something good for ourselves. So thanks for joining us on Conversations with Val and Sal. Mr. Chris Jasper, the wisdom, the Gold Coast, the key. That is the man. We appreciate you. And always, as always, LJ, we appreciate you riding along. Everybody have a great night. Stay blessed. God bless. And keep moving forward.
You won't have to see like, know just what it feels like. Come over and dance with me. Oh, babe. Yeah.